Rikers Island, New York's massive jail complex,
In one of the most violent jails in the country. Now to another tragic story about a young man who learned the hard way about the troubles plaguing America's criminal justice system. Kalief Browder was arrested at 16, never convicted of a crime, never had a trial. But his experience exposed a troubled criminal justice system and the brutality of life behind bars.
Cash bail was originally designed as a simple promise, a financial guarantee that a defendant would return for their trial. But over time, this promise became a punishment. Today, it's a price tag placed on liberty. In 2023, more than 400,000 people sat in jail, not because they were convicted of a crime, but because they couldn't pay bail. Most were charged with non-violent offenses. Many had never seen a courtroom.
Kalief Browder was 16 when he was accused of stealing a backpack. He always maintained his innocence, but he spent 3 years at Rikers Island, 2 of them in solitary confinement. Why? Because his family couldn't afford the $3,000 bail. After his release, Kalief suffered from depression and PTSD. In 2015, he took his own life. His story became a national wake-up call, but for thousands, the nightmare continues.
You're supposed to be innocent to prove guilty, but the way the system is you're guilty till proven innocent.
Little did we know Kalief Browder was already dying inside the day we met him. At the easy age of 22, he'd already learned more about America's criminal justice system and endured more than any soul should ever have to. That's Kalief there on the floor inside Rikers Island, New York City's most notorious jail, beaten by a gang of fellow inmates, all caught on camera.
Kalief's life was forever changed by the system. Growing up poor and being thrown into jail as a minor for a crime he was never truly proven guilty of doing drastically affected his mental health. The unnecessary time he spent in jail he would never get back.
Court records show Kalief had attempted suicide at least 6 times, spent 1,110 days behind bars, more than 800 of those in solitary confinement. His court date postponed more than 30 times. He endured all this having never been given a trial, never convicted of a crime. Finally, in June of 2013, all charges against Kalief were dismissed.
Kalief Browder's case serves as an example to a major flaw in the justice system. The cash bail system doesn't just punish poverty, it perpetrates it. Losing a job, missing rent, losing custody, these are all real costs of pretrial detention. Black and Latino defendants are more likely to receive higher bail than white defendants charged with the same crimes. Justice, in theory, is blind, but in practice, it sees race and it sees income. Kalief Browder, along with many others, are experiencing harsh things while being incarcerated, even though they were never proven guilty.
It was like hell on earth. We were beaten, stomped by the correction officers, and they was just beating on me.
Beatings captured on surveillance video obtained by the New Yorker magazine, which first brought Kalief's story to light. In this video, we see him being escorted to the prison shower. He appears to speak to the guard, who in seconds is seen slamming him into a wall and then to the ground.
And I cried myself to sleep because it's like, I want to go home, and it's like they're not letting me go home.
To go home, Kalief's mother, Benita Browder, needed to post bail of $3,000, money she said she just didn't have.
Supporters of cash bail argue it keeps communities safe and ensures court appearances. But data from reformed jurisdictions tells another story. Since eliminating cash bail for most non-violent offenses, New Jersey saw no significant rise in crime or missed court dates. Risk-based assessments and supervised release work.
Cash bail criminalizes poverty. It undermines our legal principle that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Community bail funds, public defenders, and new legislation are pushing back. But until we remove money from the equation of justice, equality remains an illusion.
Freedom should never be sold, and justice should never be dependent on wealth. Kalief Browder paid the price for a system that failed him. How many more must we lose before we change it?
Friends and family of defendants are also negatively affected by these flaws in the system.
When you heard that your 16-year-old boy was being sent to Rikers Island?
My heart dropped. You know, I had heard so many horror stories about Rikers, and all I could picture was him getting hurt in there. He did it. And I had to watch my baby go through all of that.
Deep down, I'm a mess. I feel like I'm a grown, old man.
I didn't know what to do. Can you imagine finding your son and he's hanging with his head back?
Kalief's story should be served as an example to why the bail system should be changed, to bring justice to those who are wrongfully imprisoned.
The first step is simple: eliminate cash bail for most non-violent offenses. Studies show that people will still show up for court, even without paying to go home. In Washington, D.C., over 90% of people are released without bail returned to court. Instead of relying on how much money someone has, courts can use risk assessments, tools that measure whether a person is likely to flee or pose a threat. It's justice based on facts, not finances. And we must go deeper by investing in people. Many held in jail struggle with poverty, mental illness, or addiction. Funding public defenders, mental health care, and housing support gives people a chance to succeed and stay out of the system for good. Freedom should never be for sale. A fair pretrial system isn't just possible. It's already working in cities across America. Now it's time to make it the standard.